Hey folks, this is a quick feature demo about the token management effort, the first iteration that we're about to release in the upcoming version of TeamCity. And the basic idea is to make tokens, OAuth tokens or OAuth-like tokens, more tangible to the user, to give them a way to see tokens and to configure tokens and to create custom tokens. Let's dive right in. So as always, here we are in TeamCity. I'm editing VCS root, so I'm in admin UI, and this is the state before token management. If I go down to what we call authentication settings, you will see that if a refreshable kind of token is configured, that currently we show a little info and a button that a user could click to get a token, but there's not a lot of choice around this. That's just that. Similar for build features slash project features like commit status, publisher, pull requests, or issue tracker integration. If you have refreshable access token authentication type selected where it is supported, you will get like a list of existing OAuth connections and some acquire buttons. So you need to know what kind of connection you want to have, and you click an acquire button, something happens, and somehow a token is configured that you can never interact with. Okay, now with token management enabled, I'm back at the VCS root, and now I see it looks a little bit different. We now see something called a token name. So apparently tokens now can have names. We see the same information. This user issued a token via this connection that is called like that. And we have also some actions or action buttons to interact with. One could be like copy the token ID. So I can copy my token ID if I need it. For example, if I'm doing something in REST or DSL and I need to configure a token ID, and I can copy it here. I have also an edit button, and the edit is real simple because it then switches to something that's an input for a token ID. So with these new token controls, users interact with token IDs directly and can come with a different token ID and can configure it here directly if they want. There's also a state where this is empty, then we show that no token is configured, and we also get a button that we could, so for example, I can configure a token ID, or I get this generate new button, which gives me the ability to directly here at this place generate a new token that I want to use. My demo token, maybe. Let's see. This, of course, goes to the OAuth provider. That will give me a token. And now the new token is configured here, and I can save it. And now my VCS root will use this new token. Let's see, is it this one? Yes. We can test connection. It works. So great. This is one way to configure a token now. In addition to all the existing ways, nothing is going away. Same for build features, for example, here commit status publisher. You will notice it's the same kind of controls, right? It's some token ID that I could configure. I could copy it. It's the same deal. We can also from here generate a new token. In those kinds of settings dialogues, we opted to not open a new dialog above the existing dialog, but we embed the dialog to generate a token into the existing dialog. That was a lot of dialogues. Let's see something else, because here we give you a link to something called a Git token list, and maybe you've asked yourself, if I'm now working with token IDs directly, where do I get those? And that's something we call VCS OAuth token list or Git token list, and I will show it briefly. So You will notice there's a new so-called project tab appearing in admin UI. It's called VCS OAuth tokens for that. What you will notice by default, we show the 10 latest tokens, and those are the 10 latest tokens directly available to this project I'm in. I'm in a project called GitLab Build, and the 10 latest tokens that were created, you see by date. You saw the my demo token that we created like earlier, and there are a lot of tokens, 47 in total for this project. I can see who issued them. I can see what connection was used. I can even copy the connection ID from here. I can copy the token ID from here. I can delete the token if I want. I don't want to because it is currently configured somewhere, so I would shoot myself into the foot. I can search for all tokens that have a name containing token, which we have 10 of. Interestingly, a demo, we have two results for something with demo in the name. Not all tokens have a name because in the past there was no notion of a token name. So if we go to the past, so this is part of the token ID that we show as a default value for token name, but it's not really a token name. So I can, you noticed I can search by user. I could list tokens by other users, but here in this project it's only me, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. What else? I could, I know I have different GitLab connections here. I have this one GitLab connection. I have 16 tokens from this connection. I also have other connections, so 30 from this connection, 1 from this connection. Interesting. I can also, of course, generate a new token. This is what this button does. It gives me a dialog. It looks a little bit similar to what we saw on the edit VCS route, but you have more power here to do stuff. So my other demo token, for example, if I would want to use this connection, and I can also say, okay, in what projects should this thing be, this new token I'm about to create, in what projects should it be available? And I could restrict it to a, let's say, like a child of the current project. Then I get a little warning that now I'm creating a token, but it will not be available to this very project, but only its child project. So we will not see it after it's generated. If I keep the default, then of course it is visible in this project. This is the notion of project scope, which always has existed, but in the past was not something users interacted with, and now it's like a first party citizen. If I click acquire, again, I go to the provider, and here I'm not logged in. So this is why we have a pop-up. I can say, okay, yes, authorized TeamCity local to do that as always. And then once GitLab is sure that everything works, it will redirect me back. And now I have it here, my other demo token. And I could copy that and now, for example, use it in DSL, which is a use case that users had. They wanted to create tokens for usage in DSL, and there was no way to do that directly until now. So now I can copy my token that I just created. I can copy the ID, go to DSL, paste it in, go to some VCS route, paste it in, go to some feature, paste it in if I need to. That's that. Or if I'm creating VCS routes via REST API, same deal. I create my thing in the UI, I create my token in the UI. I always need to create a token in the UI because the UI needs to send me to the OAuth provider. It's not possible to automatically create tokens. So this is purely a UI thing, creating tokens, but then we can copy them and use them. There's also another thing for GitHub app, because GitHub app, of course, is special. If we go to GitHub app, some of you may know that for GitHub app, we use non-personal tokens most of the time. And these are the so-called installation tokens. And for installation tokens, we restrict the token to a repository it is generated for or issued for. So in all the UI interactions where we create a token by creating a VCS root or creating like a sub project or build configuration, and while doing that we create a token to access the VCS root, this token will be restricted to a single repository. And this is not always ideal. There are users and maybe a lot of users where the VCS root fetch URL is a parameter. And they have one like VCS root, but in reality it's like 5 or 6 instances of them, and they all differ by fetch URL, meaning they target a different repository, and therefore they cannot use a single token for all of those instances of the VCS root, basically, or they could not. Now there's a ability to do that, because if we are talking about GitHub app, then you notice we have something here, which in addition to choosing the connection and giving it a name, my custom token, I can also restrict the repositories directly, and I need to. So I know I have repo 1, I also know I have repo 3, and now I want to have a token that has access to both of these repositories. I can then acquire, sending me back, I have the installation token at hand, and now this is a token I could use for multiple repositories. Yeah, that's basically it for token management.